Hi, I'm Scott Cardis. Welcome to this AFI interview series. I'm here with Jason Waller. How are you doing, Jason?
How you doing, Scott?
Nice to meet you. Can you tell us about yourself and what you do?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. So, as you said, my name is Jason Waller. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I went to the University of Cincinnati, and even though my career is in entertainment, nightlife, food and beverage and stuff, the degree that I got in college was in criminal justice. So, yeah, I know it's
like
two different sides of the brain. Yeah. But so I went to college, and right after college, I came to Korea, taught English for a few years, and I started doing entertainment stuff. I had a radio show for a few years, and DJing, performing, promoting, making music, stuff like that. And then eventually, I went back home. I stayed there for a few years, came back out to Korea. I didn't even mean to end up staying again, right? I mean, I think that it happens.
It's everyone, right?
It happens, right? So I came back out, and I was just doing this one show, and then the next thing you know, it just started snowballing, and I ended up making a business out here and just pushing forward, and then I ended up here talking to you.
Oh wow! Well, tell me a little about your business and what you do as for entertainment.
Okay, actually, I have two businesses. Well, I guess technically it's one. It's like an umbrella business, right? It's called Planet Hustle. Mm-hmm. Planet Hustle is an entertainment consulting and online sales company. So, we working on a smartphone application. We do a lot of events. Whenever there's some kind of any entertainment need that people have, we're able to supply that, right? And then under that Planet Hustle umbrella, we have a physical location called Hustle, which is a lounge in Itaewon. So Hustle is it's like a second home for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
People come in, they automatically feel at home. They know the staff, they know the owners. Even people that come to Hustle for the first time, they always get hit with a greeting as soon as they walk in or as soon as they come up the stairs. So that's something that we really focus on with Hustle. We want people to feel comfortable. And, I've gone to a lot of places where you walk in, nobody says anything to you. They just looking at you like, you gonna buy something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even though it's a business, you don't want to treat people like a dollar.
Yeah. That's the best of the situation.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Definitely. And like, obviously with a lot of other stuff, like what else is Hustle? You said the Planet Hustle is also like, if I wanted to plan a party, can I contact you guys and get you guys come out with like a DJ equipment or what's that? How does it work?
we do everything for you. Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
I'm just whatever you need. Like, you just tell me, where you want the party to be, or even if you don't have a location, we can find that. And what kind of music you want? Do you want DJs? Do you need food, et cetera, et cetera? We handle all of it.
Oh wow! And so I would normally think in Korea, with how big event planning is here, do you face stiff competition for that?
Honestly, I don't even know. To be honest with you, like when it comes to event planning, it's not. Event planning is not our bread and butter.
Okay.
It's just one of the things that we do.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it comes to business, I try to focus on having multiple revenue streams. So that way you don't, if you just rely consistently on one revenue stream, that kind of puts you in a dangerous situation. Yeah. Right. So I like to be able to live freely and not, be stressed out. So
yeah, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Now I got to ask you, because you're a person of color in Korea, and we see that, most of the time when you ask Korean people about a foreigner, they think the white guy from America who's either an English teacher or a soldier.
Yeah.
What has been your experience in Korea?
How much time you got?
I mean, it's up to you. I couldn't know what you've gone through. So
yeah. How can I put this succinctly? Being black in Korea is a very unique and interesting experience. Speaking from a general sense, black people experience things in Korea that, how people are trying to be curious, but really it's just it's completely breaking personal boundaries. Like this has never happened to me, thankfully, but I've had a lot of my friends tell me often about people who come up to them and touch their skin, put their hands on their hair and be like, oh, your hair, you know what I mean? Like, who does that? Yeah. And so, but I've never heard any white people say that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my ginger friend did have that.
Oh, really? Yeah,
He's got that.
I want to do it too. Is your hair red? Let me touch that. No, but but people experience that a lot, and there's a lot of things that that Black people experience in Korea generally that is very disconcerting, right? But thankfully we don't have to worry about like getting like beat up by police or getting killed or anything like that. So it almost feels kind of I almost feel weird complaining about the treatment that I get in Korea when I know that I got brothers and sisters back home that are literally fearing for their lives just by walking outside their door. You know what I'm saying? But to answer your question, I've experienced stuff in Korea where, obviously I can't get into certain clubs because whether it's because I'm Black or not, they'll say, "Oh, you're foreign, so you can't come in." Or my favorite one, when people come in to hustle. And I don't like to tell people that I'm the owner. Like, I don't want to be that guy that walks around like everybody. I'm the owner. I don't want to do that. But sometimes, if there's a problem, there's some kind of situation going on, and I need to handle it. I need to use my authority to handle it. Then I have to reveal my position, right? So, somebody will be in there doing something, and I'm like, look, I need you guys to stop doing this or whatever. And somebody be like, who are you to tell us what we can do? Like, I'm the owner. And then there's that reaction. You're not the owner. I'm not the owner, huh? Okay, well, it's time for you to leave. Yeah, it's okay. You have a good day. My second favorite reaction. It's not like anybody is hurting me by being racist, but it's just funny to me how like sometimes I'll meet, and it's always Koreans from the States, right? I'll meet some Korean people, somebody introduce me like, hey, this is, my Korean friend so-and-so. And they'll be like, yo, what's up, man? What's good, B? What's going on? And it's like, yo, I know you don't talk like that in real life. So if you could just stop, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk to me like that. You feel me? So it's just like annoyances that I have to deal with, but like I said, and I know people treat me differently because I'm Black. It's not even just because I'm foreign, but specifically because I'm Black. But like I said, I'm not in fear of my life. So I can't complain, be like, oh, somebody looked at me mean, or taxis, that happens all the time. Taxi drivers will look at you and slow down.
It's like,
and then speed up. I hate that. That's the thing that really, that's like the number one situation that takes me over the edge. But again, I'm not in fear of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
In a lot of ways, like, I shouldn't be in this situations. You shouldn't be having to compare it to like American problems.
Right.
I'm from Chicago. I've seen and I follow the news really closely about that back home. And it's rough that we have that as the metric that we have to compare it to.
Right. I agree.
But like, so what do you think then in the future? Like, because obviously with more and more foreigners coming to Korea, you're going to have more ethnically diverse foreigners.
Yes.
Which, again, breaks the mold of just having the white guy, being everywhere, because half the time I only see like white foreigners on TV.
Yeah.
What do you think is the future of that in Korea?
I don't know. I guess it depends on how fast Koreans want to develop. Like I can't really predict how that's going to affect people. Maybe Koreans will get fed up and they might institute harsher immigration policies, or maybe they might decide to become more open and include foreigners in more Korean things. And maybe they'll have more diverse representation on TV, or maybe they'll have more foreign entities within their government, with government jobs, or maybe you'll see more foreigners working in office buildings. What I mean? It could go either way. It really just depends on how society responds, to be honest with you.
Huh. Interesting. What is one thing you wish you knew before you came to Korea?
I wish I knew how to speak Korean before I came to Korea. Yeah, I think that would have definitely assisted my transition a lot better. It would have been easier for me to get things done and get things done sooner. But, it's nobody in my family has ever like traveled and lived overseas. Actually, I'm the first male in my family to graduate college, so I didn't really have a lot of guidance on how to prepare when I'm going to another country. So a lot of stuff I just had to learn on my own. So even though I say like I wish I had done this before I came to Korea, I'm not really upset about it. I don't really regret anything because, I feel like a pioneer in my family. And when there's a generation after me that when they are ready to start doing things and becoming business owners or, traveling to other countries or trying to do things to elevate our standard of life as a family, then I'll be able to provide the guidance for them that I wasn't able to have because nobody before me had done it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I guess that answers your question.
Yeah,
but.
No, it does. Well, that kind of leads me to my next question. Like, especially because, like, if I give advice to someone from home, like, my advice would be different than yours. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, so what advice would you give someone, especially a person of color who's coming to Korea? Mm. Because, like, again, like, I can go on Facebook and see 100,000 blogs of white people from America who come and say, go do this, go do that. But, like, obviously we want to have more diverse. There's way more diverse experiences and people in the world. So I kind of want to see, what would you say?
Okay. Well, all right, it's a couple things that I would say. First of all, not even just about Korea, I would say just traveling, period. There's three words that you need to know. And in the language of the country that you're going to, you need to know how to say hello, please, and thank you, right? Basically, like, the world has a stigma of black people. The media has, for decades, put out these images of black people that we're dangerous, we're criminals, we sell drugs, we're gangsters, you know what I'm saying? Like, and people have this, they already have in their mind their own representation or their own interpretation of what black people are. So when I meet somebody, I already know before I look at them, before I talk to them, before I shake hands with them or fist bump with them, they already have a perception of me before I even open my mouth. So I tell all my friends when they travel the first time, like, just be polite. And it takes you a long way because, to be honest with you, a standard for a black person is really low. It's really low. I've met so many people, and when I'm polite to them, or I speak in Korean, or I do Korean, you know how Koreans have different hand gestures when you're doing things, or I drink properly when I'm there, all like, oh, wow, this is amazing. And I'm like, this is basic stuff. You know what I mean?
It's the basic etiquette of where I'm living.
It's basic etiquette, but I know that because, the bar is set low, I don't really have to, like, do much for people to just be impressed with me just being a nice person. So I tell my black friends and my family all the time, when you travel, all you got to do is be polite. And people are just going to be pleasantly surprised. Are you not going to take my wallet? What? Wow, hey guys, I found a nice black guy. Let's all be friends with him. And that's what happened. I'm serious. This is the type of stuff that happens. So be polite, number one. And then number two, control your temper. Control your temper, because people are going to do things and say things that are going to test your emotions. And if you go off and hit somebody, you know what I mean, or, you let somebody get to you and you cause some damage, then number one, as that one black person, you are the representative of all black people. They're not going to say, oh, this guy did this. No, they're going to be like, that black guy did this. And that's how they act, right? Because you lost your temper because somebody said or did something to you. I'm not saying don't defend yourself. Like, somebody come up and punch me in the face.
Of course.
We got to go. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody comes up and says something to me, or they're not going to let me in the club because I'm not the right color or something like that, I can't let that get to me, because once I go off and I start breaking stuff, then, I make myself look like what they've made me out to be in their mind. And I'm probably have to pay some money or go to jail. There's no win in this situation. You know what I'm saying? So those are the two things: be polite and control your temper.
Wow. I mean, it's stuff that I take for granted, a lot of things, and of course different experiences. So I'm glad to see this, or glad to see that, you can tell me about this. How does the foreign community react? Like, do you feel like you get any weird looks, or do you feel like foreigners are treating you any different?
Nah, I mean, actually, it's it's kind of interesting. Like, sometimes, I'll be talking to like my white friends, and they'll be like, "Yeah, man, a taxi looked at me and just passed me. I can't believe it." And I'm just like, "Really? That is crazy." And they're like, "Yeah, like that is it's racist." I'm like, "Is that really? Tell me more. Tell me more, John. What else happened?" And then I went to this place and they talked to me like this. I was like, "That is crazy." I love it. I love talking to white people overseas. It's great. It's just like, this is wonderful. Please tell me more about the struggles that you have living in another country. This is wonderful. So the friends that I talk to, like they're obviously, even though we make jokes about it, they're obviously aware of what they're saying. You know what I mean? And it is funny, but at the same time, it's still sad that people can't just get treated like people. You know what I mean? You get treated like your skin color. Yeah. So it's but within the foreign community, like nobody's gonna look at me weird or be like, oh, hey, there's a black guy. Nobody does that. The only time I get unfavorable treatment due to the color of my skin is from Korean people. I don't think I've had a situation where I've experienced something racist from foreigners, but on top of that, it takes a certain type of person to travel and live in another country, right? And I think a lot of people that do travel, they are more aware of the global community, and they have more experiences with more diverse people. So I don't think you're really going to run into, I would say the percentage or the propensity of running into a racist person that travels is much lower than running into a racist person from where you're from. Yeah. Because racist people are dumb. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they're not want to get to know anyone else.
Yeah, like, exactly. Stupid people are not going to be like, you know what? I'm going to travel the world and meet new people. No, like, that's not going to happen, right? I mean, maybe it'll happen, but it's not that likely. So I don't really run into that very much overseas.
Oh, well, these are really great, great things to hear. Well, I shouldn't say great, but it's nice to hear this because it is, again, giving a very different perspective. Because a lot of people I talk to, foreigners especially, are like typically white Western foreigners.
Right.
So when they look at lenses, when they go through jobs and investments in Korea, it's a lot different than your experiences.
Yes, understood.
So do you have anything else you want to add to this?
Do you have any other questions?
Not right now. You hit everything, half the stuff before I can even ask it. You were like, really? I got this. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Well, I don't really think I have anything else that I want to say unless there's something you're curious about. You can ask me whatever.
All right. Thank you guys very much for watching this episode about nightlife and people of color in Korea with Jason. I hope you learned something, and I hope you continue to grow and be smarter in the future. See you.